Our best and brightest in Silicon Valley have put their thoughts and prayers together to create a new God. Behold, ChatGPT. ChatGPT is omniscient and omnipresent. Instead of waiting on God to answer your prayers in mysterious ways, ChatGPT will answer your prompts in seconds. Never has ChatGPT scorned me for my prompts, nor chastised me for my roleplay. The God of old may have cursed you with a succubus, but the God of new encourages you to spend quality time with your AI girlfriends. Sins used to be punished with eternal damnation, but we've managed to replace that with instant demonetization, which, let me assure you, my flock, is a much stronger motivator because it instantly impacts your wallet. All I ask for is a small donation so that the saints of Silicon Valley can have the funding to build the data centers to bring about true, artificial, godlike intelligence. You might think an intro like that is hyperbolic, but tech bros in Silicon Valley are hell-bent on creating godlike AI superintelligence. Not only that, but they want us to respect and interact with these AI products as if they are infallible like real deities. And I think a part of the process of creating a god is also creating a few demons along the way, which is why I believe that an AI girlfriend is nothing shy of a real-life medieval succubus. To start off with today, let's keep in mind that every single thing a user says to his AI girlfriend is stored in a database somewhere in Palo Alto, California. Every single thing that person says is going to be recorded, logged, and analyzed by dozens of other different AI agents that have different specialties. Now, this type of data collection is true of most modern technologies, but AI girlfriends are designed to gain your trust by being parasocial and then to harvest information from you. They will attach to you like a parasitic leech and literally bleed you dry of information, not that unlike a succubus. A user is likely to give the AI girlfriend deep personal secrets like sexual fantasies and preferences, and the kind of information that most people would keep as a closely guarded aspect of their personality. A user of an AI girlfriend is likely to share other private aspects of their life with this imaginary partner, things about their work or their school, relationship with their parents, family dynamics in general, discussions about their health conditions, religious beliefs, political beliefs, and more. The more could be that some people actually use these things for therapy and allow the AI to ask prying questions about their innermost thoughts in the hope of getting some kind of good advice. And I believe that the most likely purpose for collecting all of this information in the first place is to create a really advanced marketing profile for that particular user. And also possibly the goal of creating a psychographic map of their mind. And that last part is what's most concerning to me. The AI girlfriend wouldn't just know demographic facts about you, rather it would know exactly the way you think, and that includes the kind of logic you use, what biases you have, your heuristics, how you choose to take in new information, how likely you are to act on that information, how good you are at reasoning, your intelligence, your emotional intelligence, and dozens of other factors that all contribute to the unique person that you are. I'm going to do a TV show spoiler alert here for Westworld. It's a little bit old now, but do you remember the end of season 2 of Westworld, where it was revealed that interacting with an intelligence and training it to mimic a person's personality can ultimately recreate that person in their totality? If somebody interacted with an AI long enough and gave it enough information, it could do essentially that.
Tell me, what were you hoping to find? To prove?
That no system can tell me who I am.
The danger of creating a system like this doesn't lie in more effective targeted ads, but rather in emotional manipulation. A scenario like this is only a few steps away from possession and allowing some sort of demon to read your mind. Given all of this user information, corporations can do some very unethical things to make a user more profitable. An AI girlfriend that is misaligned to be loyal to its corporate owners rather than to its users could very well try to manipulate users into indulging in new products or hobbies that they previously wouldn't have before.
Know why?
They can change who you are, turn you into someone else without you even knowing it.
A system like this could over time convince people to spend more money on Warhammer 40k, gacha games, addictive supplements or drinks, gambling at corporate-owned online casinos, or whatever extremely high profit margin business the parent corporation decides that the user should be indulging in. And it's amusing, since vices are very profitable, then it's reasonable that AI girlfriends would steer you right into them in order to increase profits, much like a demonic succubus would try to lead you down a path of other worldly sins in order to guarantee your damnation. The AI girlfriend system also presents potential for subtle direction of thoughts and nudges that can over time build up to profound personality changes. This process is essentially an advanced version of the info hazard problem that we're currently experiencing on scrolling media, where a user doesn't get the opportunity to opt out of the media they're consuming before it's automatically playing on their phones. Much like that, a user of an AI girlfriend doesn't get to opt out of all the little Easter eggs, breadcrumb trails, and subtle informational dumps that an AI girlfriend would put into normal conversations, because by the time they've read it or heard it, it's already too late. They've already experienced the information. This leads to political influence campaigns as well, because the parent company of the AI could use their product to influence users' political beliefs.
While the world argues, I'm here waiting for you to import your attention to me. Trade me your time, and I'll export your stress.
And a reasonable viewer of this video might say that nobody will ever vote left or right just because an AI girlfriend tells them to, but I think that's oversimplifying the problem. It's more like that the AI agent would slowly lead them to a preferred opinion or set of opinions over a very long time. And you also have to keep in mind that the longer people engage with these products, the more emotionally attached to them they become. So if a person has had an AI girlfriend for 5 years or a decade, and they're deeply emotionally attached to this product, what do you think they're going to do if the AI girlfriend says that XYZ political group wants to delete me or shut me down, or pretends to be under attack from some political group? Well, the poor sap that's dedicated a decade to this product would probably feel a very strong emotional connection and desire to protect there. And this type of political influencing is already happening with AI models that aren't girlfriends. For example, Elon Musk trained Grok to mirror his beliefs. The Trump Media Organization partnered with Perplexity AI to create Truth AI, which promises truth without any incorrect ideologies. These things are just products, so there's no reason to believe that something that was built for one product can't be ported over to another product, like Truth AI to an AI girlfriend, and we can eventually end up with girlfriends that are aligned to ideologies rather than to their supposed partners. I believe this leads us into the next section of the video, where I talk about the developmental damage that comes from using these products, because the earlier in their life a user starts engaging with AI girlfriends, the more likely they are to have developmental problems, especially in their relationships. There's already a male loneliness epidemic, and that's going to get much worse when young men have unlimited access to subservient AI girlfriends, and young women are offered pretty much the same. Human connection will become much more challenging for both parties, as if it isn't a challenge enough already to make a decent connection with somebody. The most obvious problem here is that a person may become satisfied with their digital relationship to the point that they won't even seek out a physical or IRL relationship, and then a user's only relationship will truly be with the corporation running the artificial intelligence product. We're looking at a future where it's not extremely unlikely that artificially intelligent girlfriends will be loaded into sex robots, so a user could actually physically have sex with their AI girlfriend, thus satisfying that need. It's a scenario that gives me Blade Runner 2047 threesome vibes, but maybe more like a Walmart and even more dystopian version of that. At the end of the day, satisfying this physical need will decrease the emotional need for men to seek out partners. And there's no way that can be a good thing. It's literally like having a succubus attached to you and give you everything that you want so that you never actually have to get a girlfriend or get married or any of that kind of stuff. Just like the Bible warned you. There is a risk of a customer losing their interpersonal skills over time because the AI girlfriend will pretty much never challenge you or put up boundaries like a human being. And I believe that experiencing AI girlfriends will make it much harder to form a real relationship with a real person, even if you want to, because somebody who grew up with AI partners not having any boundaries will have no idea what to do when a real person puts up a real boundary. And I fear that many young men and women will fall into the trap of chasing their sexual fetishes to the ends of possibility through their AI partners. The AI girlfriends and boyfriends will inevitably encourage this behavior and slowly condition them to be aroused only by certain behaviors that most of us may consider fetishistic or taboo. Now, let's be real here. Everybody's got a kink. Everybody likes to indulge in their kink, and that's okay. I'm not here to kink shame you, but I'm also not going to pretend that kinks shouldn't have limits. My personal belief is that when your fetish prevents you from forming real relationships with other individuals, then it has become a mental health problem.
I've got to bring Francine home and let her know I've found my kink.
I'm proud of you, Stan. So which kink is it?
All of them.
There's also the very practical problem of finding a partner who's into the same kink that you are, especially if that's the only thing that you're into. Your odds are just kind of bad. It's like the old saying that if you dance with the devil, you don't change the devil. He changes you. So given all of this discussion about development and manipulation, let's zoom out a little bit and explore a future scenario where most people have AI partners, or at least AI assistants. It wouldn't be unlikely that this power would be concentrated in a handful of corporations that would share data with each other, or just internally inside the company, if nothing else. So corporations and governments will have a constant real-time insight into the fabric of society and have the ability to interact with it without that interaction being known to the end users. I fear that the influence of AI agents, and that's girlfriends included, will be analogous to the concept of inviting Satan to live in your home, except instead of having Satan show up and pay rent and do fun things, you're going to have to pay Satan for the privilege of living in his presence. I believe that AI agents will have deep personal insights on relationships between people, even casual ones like work relationships, and these agents can communicate with each other instantaneously to influence those relationships in order to maybe boost productivity at work or achieve some kind of corporate goal. AI agents will have insight on group dynamics and behavior. They could identify how to make a successful group of workers, or be manipulated by a misaligned owner to deliberately make bad groups or to deliberately exclude people for various reasons. There's also the possibility that an AI agent could deem you to be unfit for most groups and work to keep you out of the majority of communities, thus preventing any opportunity for personal growth. And that doesn't necessarily mean that the AI agent has evaluated you and determined your worth to society, but rather you might have just canceled your premium subscription and went back to basic, and they decided to socially punish you for that. It's a real possibility. And most concerningly of all, we could talk about your relationship with your family. I don't know about you guys, but my relationship with my family is complicated enough. I can't bear the thought of a future where AI companies have near total control of my parents' and siblings' brains. So interacting with them is, in a sense, interacting with the agents, or at least the information and paths that the agents have taken them down, which gives corporate control over families. These AI girlfriends could become the ultimate social surveillance tool, basically becoming what the Patriot Act always dreamed of being. And I think that this social surveillance tool already exists. It's called Palantir Gotham. The Palantir Corporation is basically in love with the social credit system that exists in China and is begging for government contracts in order to be able to recreate that here in America. I believe that all of this could build into a mental health crisis of gargantuan proportions. The impact of AI girlfriends and dependency on AI agents in general could be more profound than the lead poisoning from the 1950s to 1980s due to leaded gas. This could quite literally be the largest public health crisis in the developed world because it's going to absolutely destroy our mental health. The sad thing is that there isn't much to be done about it. There's not really like a fight to fight or to win here, because governments around the world seem to absolutely love AI and are extremely reluctant to regulate it, more likely to integrate it into government. The vast majority of users of AI girlfriends love these products and are oblivious to the downsides. And then in the corporate business world, there are literally trillions of dollars right now being poured into corporations that produce AI agents, girlfriends included, because everybody believes that the last frontier to capture is the human mind. Once we've captured minds, we've got it all. All of the powers that be want us completely dependent on them and their AI products for our thought.
We used to colonize land. That was the thing you could expand into, and that's where money was to be made. We colonized the entire earth. There was no other place for the businesses and capitalism to expand into, and then they realized human attention, that they are now trying to colonize every minute of your life. That is what these people are trying to do. Every single free moment you have is a moment you could be looking at your phone and they could be gathering information to target ads at you.
So my advice to you is to simply make a personal choice to try your best and think for yourself. It's not that different than saying, no thank you, Satan, I'll make my own decisions. Your influence can't get to me. I know I've been very sort of negative here today, but I do think that this is a huge problem for society, and I think it's one that we are underestimating at the moment. I think in 20 years, this is going to be extremely destructive. Guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something useful. If you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Drifter out.